Red Dead Redemption 2 starts like any good Western. Outlaws on the run, gun smoke in the air, big skies, big dreams, and the promise of freedom just over the hill. But the deeper you go, the more that dream starts to rot. The cracks in the gang, the weight of the past, the pressure of a world that's moving on. And at the center of it all is Arthur Morgan. A man who spent his life following orders, believing in loyalty, surviving by violence. But now, for the first time, he starts to question it all. What follows isn't a redemption arc in the heroic sense, it's a reckoning. A man realizing he's lived the wrong life and trying to make peace with that before it's too late. Before we go any further, this video will explore major story moments from Red Dead Redemption 2, including its ending. If you haven't finished the game and want to experience it fresh, now's the time to pause and come back later. Let's begin. Arthur was raised by outlaws. Dutch gave him a purpose, a family, and a worldview. The law is corrupt. Civilization is a lie. Real freedom, Arthur believes, comes from living on your own terms, but the cracks were always there. Dutch doesn't believe in freedom. He believes in control, or his own version of it. By the time Arthur starts to see that, it's already too late. The gang is breaking. The dream is dead. And Arthur, who's done everything asked of him, fought, killed, bled, has nothing to show for it except a trail of regret. It's not a fall from grace. It's a slow, painful awakening to the truth. The story he believed in was never real. Then comes the diagnosis, tuberculosis, a death sentence. But this isn't just a plot twist, it's a transformation. Suddenly, everything Arthur's done, everything he's lost, comes into focus. The future he thought he had disappears. And in its place, he starts thinking about the kind of a man he wants to be with the time he has left. He stops looking for escape. He stops chasing Dutch's fantasy, and he starts paying attention to the people around him. Not just the gang, not just John, strangers, widows, outcasts, anyone he can still help. Because the life he lived might be beyond repair, but that doesn't mean he can't still do good. But while Arthur is waking up, the world keeps spinning. The Pinkertons are closing in, Dutch is unraveling, and Micah is riding the gang from within. Arthur sees it. Finally, he understands what's happening, but he's powerless to stop it. He can't fix the gang. He can't save Dutch, but he can save one person. He can help John Marston get out, give him a chance to raise his son in a world without blood on his hands. That's the choice Arthur makes, because maybe redemption isn't about erasing your past. Maybe it's about giving someone else the chance to live a life better than you did, even if it's just one person. The beauty of Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't found in its shootouts, it's in the quiet moments that most players could easily miss. When Arthur gives money to a widow he doesn't owe. When he helps a dying man write a final letter to his son. When he sketches the land in his journal, not for a reward, just to remember it. These aren't grand gestures. They don't change the world, but they change him. They're acts of quiet humanity, and they matter more than anything Dutch ever promised. Arthur stops trying to survive. He starts trying to live with intention, with compassion, not for the gang, but for the past, just to leave behind something that feels real. Arthur isn't just dying, the world he knew is dying with him. The forests are cut down, the oil drills churn, the cities grow louder. Civilization is coming fast, and there's no room in it for men like him, no outlaws, no cowboys, no ghosts of a world that truly existed. Dutch still believes in some grand escape. Arthur no longer does. He stops clinging. He watches. He sketches. He lets the world pass him by because he finally understands there is no going back. And trying to hold on only makes the ending worse. Arthur's final ride up the mountain isn't just an ending. It's a reckoning. He's sick. He's exhausted. He knows the end is coming, but this time, he's riding toward it. With clarity, no more running, no more empty talk of freedom or loyalty, just one last choice. Does he help John escape, giving him and his family a chance at a better life, or does he go back for the money, clinging to the ruins of a dream that never truly existed? And what comes next depends on what kind of person you've helped Arthur become. If he chooses John and you lived honorably, Arthur buys him time, hauls off the pursuers, and dies quietly on the mountaintop watching the sunrise. Finally at peace, if he lives selfishly, he dies bitter, beaten, and alone. And if Arthur chooses the money instead, he's ambushed, betrayed. He fights to the end, but doesn't make it out alive. Whatever path you choose, Arthur's fate is sealed. But how you got there says everything. Because by that point, Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't about who lives or dies. It's about how we face the end and whether we can leave behind something that matters. Arthur Morgan doesn't get justice. He doesn't get forgiveness. He doesn't even get to survive. But in his final days, he gets something that mattered more. He lets go. He lets go of the lies he was raised on, of Dutch's dream, of the gang, of the myth of freedom through violence. He spent most of his life following the wrong path, believing in the wrong people, and becoming someone he never chose to be. But at the end, he finally makes a choice of his own. He walks away from that life, and he tries to leave behind something better. Not a legacy, not a name, just a single honest act of love. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a story about waking up too late and still trying to do the right thing before the light fades, even if no one sees it, even if the world forgets. Arthur Morgan dies facing the truth. And sometimes, that's the most anyone can do.